She was just a little girl, only 8 years old, when her world was shaken, when the truth went cold. Her uncle's life was taken, no answers, just pain. And the ones who did it just walked away. But she never forgot, never let it fade. Now she's speaking up for the hearts that break, for the moms, the dads, the kids left behind. She's telling their stories, one case at a time. Cold case crystal, searching through the dark, shining her light, following every spark, turning silence into sound, names into gold, 'cause justice should never go cold. She don't know their faces, but she knows their pain, standing up for the broken again and again. It takes 0 effort to be a good human being. This is cold case crystal, and justice should never go cold.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hey, Chatty. Hey, Chico. Hey, Flies. Popcorn and M&Ms. Okay, I've had something on my mind, and you all know me. If it's on my mind and I feel like I need to share it, I will. We've all seen a lot going on in the past few days, and I don't care what side you're on. I think everybody that says it's been a mess can put a 1 in chat. Hey, Kim. Yeah, it's hot here too. I went on Nonsense's panel and said some of this, but when people are stooping to the level of talking about other people's looks, about their financial standings, whether they're rich, they're poor, middle class, uneducated, I don't care. That's where we need to draw the line, you all. We do not know what other people are going through. Most of you know my story. Most of you know the things that I've dealt with because I put it out here for public consumption. My past, it's not been great. I've had a lot of tragedy in my life. And the one thing that I hold so dear is my kids. They mean everything to me. And I think if you've ever lost a kid, then you do realize just how precious life is and that tomorrow isn't promised. So one thing that I have often done is I have some CDs here of my kids, and I can pop those in and watch them sometimes just to remember their voice. When you lose someone, now I don't know how it is for everybody else. I can only speak for myself. But I've noticed that whether it was my kids, my mom, my dad, my sister, my friend, every one of those losses, the same thing happened. And their voice was one of the first things that was hardest to remember. Put a 1 in chat if you've went through that and you know what I'm talking about right now. I mean, I can shut my eyes and still see my mama's voice. But often it's when I say things that my mom used to say that makes me remember what her voice is. And through the years, we saw a lot of creators come, go, and some pass away. And I don't know if anybody else has been thinking about this. I do. I do think about these things. But I wonder how many times has Hills in the Air's children went to her channel to remember her voice? How many times has Nana's Angels did that? Or if they cammed up just to see their face. I have thought about that because I know how many times I've popped in these DVDs to watch my boys, to remember their cadence, to remember some of the little things that they used to do. Sometimes just to be able to feel like I'm near them, I've popped these in. And since I've came on this platform, I have always tried to say, I don't want to do anything that my kids would be ashamed of. Because this old girl isn't always going to be here. There'll be a day when I close my eyes and my time on earth will be done. And if my children are anything like me, they may come to YouTube to hear their mama's voice. And the thing that I don't want them to hear is me slandering other people. The thing that I don't want them to do is to come here and be ashamed of me. I don't want them to come here and say that's not the woman I knew. I want them to find the morals that I've taught them in everyday life, or as some people might want to call it, real life. I want them to find those very same morals on here, whether I'm covering a case or what. And have I made mistakes? Yes, I have. I've got a video right now that I deleted because I let a troll aggravate me. I was ashamed of it. I was ashamed of it myself. So I took it down. You see, a lot of people that know me know I'm country as cornbread. Born and raised. I won't even say the hills of Kentucky. Born and raised back in the hollers of Kentucky. I know and I remember what it was like to be poor as dirt. I remember what it was like for my parents to struggle. And later on in life, just starting out, I did the same thing. And it was those struggles that made me who I am right now. Everything that I've went through in my life has made the cold case crystal that you all have got to know. Whether I'm in here playing the piano, singing, or whether I'm talking about a case or playing this game that brings us so much laughter on Saturday nights at 8. I still want to remain who I am. I don't want to be on my kids to get on YouTube one day and see their mama talking about somebody because they may not have teeth, or talking about somebody's weight, or talking about what kind of home they live in. That is not the cold case crystal I want my kids to find on YouTube. Now, I've heard some people say, well, they did it to me. It's real easy to try to clap back in anger. But step back and think, am I doing this for the right reasons? And I think there is a time that we all should step back and say that. Reevaluate ourselves and ask, Why am I doing this? What is my purpose on this platform? And I'm going to tell you, if you come up with a money sign, you're on here for the wrong reason. Especially covering cases. If that's your number one goal, you missed the mark. This is a platform where we can help people, where we can connect with people we would have never seen in our everyday life. Why in the world would we come on here and not be who we are? Hey, Sunday Doodle. I'm going to open my panel up. If people want to come up, discuss this, you are more than welcome, as long as you remain respectful. I don't want to be talking about no particular creators or anything like that, because again, that's not who I am. But I do think this is a good opportunity for us to reevaluate why we're here. Why do we do this thing called YouTube? Now, when I first came to YouTube, to the true crime section of YouTube, I had no clue whatsoever there was ever such a thing as a true crime section. To be honest with you, I didn't know there was people out here that was having open panels talking about cases, and I didn't know that existed. And then I found it, and I was like in awe by it. And at first glance, I thought, man, this is awesome. These people are coming together to talk about these missing kids in hopes of finding out what has happened. Mind you, I just came to YouTube. I thought this could really, really make a difference. And I was excited about it. I was excited about it because it was something that I'd never seen. And I decided that I was going to make a video. And this is that video that I made you all. This is like one of the first videos that I ever put out in this, that wasn't just me playing like piano or anything like that. But put a one in chat when you can see it. Even on missing person shorts, the trolls are bad. I just deleted the comments and go, oh, yeah. I appreciated the trolls' comments because I knew these people's faces are getting seen. That's so true. And I mean, we need to think about all avenues of it. But now, when I made this video, I was, again, I had just came to YouTube, just saw people discussing Summer Wells's case, and this was my thoughts on it. Hello. Put a one in chat if you can hear it. Can everybody hear the sound? Chad just likes my crocheting. Okay. For my first video about Summer Wells, I started out thinking, well, I'll just give the information and maybe debunk some theories. But then I got to thinking, what will that change? What will it? I'm not saying I won't do that, but For my first video, I want to do something that will make a change. And at the same time, did the sound go out, Flies? Let me see here. I know what it is. Let me try this again. I'm so sorry, y'all. Okay, I want to share the entire screen. Turn the sound on. Okay. Okay, now let me know if you can hear it better. I do apologize about that, you all. Hello, everyone. Most of you don't know me, but I'm Code Case. You've probably... Okay, is that better? Video about summer wells. I started out thinking, well, I'll just give the information, maybe debunk some theories. Are you all able to hear it? Is there echo? How's the audio? Okay. But then I got to thinking, what will that change? What will it? I'm not saying I won't do that, but for my first video, I want to do something that will make a change. And at the same time, I would also like to challenge other creators to do the same, and other people that are in the chat, because I've been in some of these chats and there's like thousands of people in these chats. And I got to thinking, if everybody printed off one flyer, now I'm printing off more, but this is just for demonstration only. If everybody prints off one flyer, that's 1,000 more times her name's out there. So I would like to challenge each and every person that watches this video. If you do it, make a video and say, I took the challenge. Print off one flyer of this child and hang it up. It may not do anything, but we don't know where she's at. We have no clue where this baby is. She could be in any of our states. So this, my friend, is my challenge, and I'm hanging up. Sorry about that. I'm going to do that right now. People say, well, they won't let you put it in stores. Well, you know what? That was being said back then. But if politicians can put their sign up, then we can too. We love you, baby girl. So, if you take my challenge, make a video. If they won't let you put it up in a window, just remember, if politicians can do it for a campaign, then we can put up a sign on the side of the road for these missing children. And that was the first video that I ever made. And it real quickly, I learned people started speculating in her case, saying some of the awfulest stuff ever. And at that time, you could choose either get on that bandwagon or you could stand for innocent until proven guilty and just sticking with facts. That's what I chose to do. But I knew, as far as making a difference, in order to help these kids, we have to get to these kids before something happens to them, before they become a child on a poster. And that is why I got into foster care, was to make a difference, to make a change. And if we're willing to sacrifice just a little bit of us, we can make a change. Just a little bit of our time. You don't have to be a foster parent. I've said that 100 times on here. There's other things people can do. But the one thing that absolutely 100% does not help is getting on here dragging each other. It don't help nothing. It don't. Have I defended myself on this platform? Yes, I have. But I try to do even that with dignity. So I'm going to drop this down here if somebody wants to join me. But I have wondered so many times, how many times have these creators that's passed on, how many times have their kids went to their channel just to hear their voice? I passed out a box of flyers. I printed out home. Sebastian at a George Strait concert at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. That is awesome. See, back then, my thinking was, man, there's thousands of people in these chats talking about this missing little girl. If everybody, and they're all from different places, how great is that? If everybody took that challenge, then her face would be in every state. That was my thinking back then. And I still think that's true. We've got a bad habit of getting on here and deciding what side we're on, what we think happened, and sticking with that narrative, and nothing else makes sense. When the fact is, every one of us is from different walks of life. We have no clue the details on any of these cases. Hold on just a second, y'all. I gotta let my dog out. Okay, I'm back. But we don't, again, as creators, we need to be responsible. What we do on our platform, we need to be mindful of that. Talking about people's looks because they have no teeth, that one triggered me. You want me to tell you why? Because I do wear dentures. And if anybody knows what it's like to go from your everyday life of being able to eat what you want and not having to worry about it, not having this extra thing that you have to do, then to go to having to learn to do everything, even eat again, you all. But not only that, I have had several surgeries in my lifetime, and I will tell you that when I had to have my teeth removed, it affected me more mentally than any surgery that I had. There's a reason I've never came on here and said that. I'm very self-conscious of it. Very. But for my health, it was something I had to do. It was a decision that I had to make because I'm a diabetic and I was getting cyst and abscess and infection, and that infection was keeping my blood sugar sky high. Couldn't get it down. I was in and out hospital all the time back then. And like Chatty said, it wasn't my choice. It wasn't something that I'd done. Pure genetics. I mean, that's what it boiled down to. And did it affect me? Yes, it did. It sure did. I had 19 pulled and 4 wisdom teeth cut out. And it was very shortly after I made my channel. In that video you all just watched, that was my natural teeth. But you know what? I've got a full mouth full I can use anytime I want, and I paid for them. Paid good money for them. I don't think people realize the price of dentures. I mean, so yeah, it was triggering to me. It was very triggering to me, because if somebody's going to judge somebody over them not having teeth, then are they judging me as well? I've sung my whole life. But after that procedure, my singing was different. Being able to pronounce words became harder. Feeling more confident speaking became harder. The food that I loved, I no longer can eat. Because let's face it, dentures are not like your regular teeth. It's not like you can just go out here and grab a steak and gnaw right into it. Nope. My favorite thing to eat was carrots dipped in ranch dressing. That was one of my favorite foods. I've not eaten it since because I can't chew carrots. Now, everybody's dentures do them different. I have a hard time eating with mine. You never know what someone is going through. Exactly, Chatty. That's my point. We don't know what these other creators are going through, whether we like them or as humans or not. Wait. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's talk about that one for a minute. I was 130 some pounds when I gave birth to my 4th kid. Corn on the cob is the thing of the past. Yes, it is. But after I lost my boys, that depression really did something. I didn't want to get out and do things. I didn't really want to be around anybody, if I'm being completely honest. And I'm a very social person. I wasn't real comfortable for a long time talking about the house fire. I wasn't. So I kept it inside. I turned into one of them people that would eat their feelings. And now I'm on a diet trying to lose 50 pounds. And I asked myself, how did I get here? And I know how I got there. It was depression. Depression and health issues. It doesn't help much that my thyroid isn't much like either. And as far as talking about someone's home, what they live in, well, that's a whole area that I think people need to stay away from completely. Me and my husband do good. But you know what? We've worked our hind end off. He sacrifices being here to be out on the road delivering food to everybody else. That's what he hauls. Frozen foods, meats. 3 weeks at a time, come home 4 days and back out there on the road. Why? Because these people can put food into their refrigerator and to provide for his family. I worked my tail off getting my business from ground up. Just a girl with a camera. Because I had to find a new line of business when my health started going downhill. I know what it's like to struggle. I do. It's not always been like this. And what we have may not be much, but we're proud of it. This house may not look like much to everybody else, but it's home to me. So I can only imagine how I would feel if somebody was talking about it. Can't imagine that. Downgrading it. Could fit it in their living room. Well, good for you. Be humble about that. Be humble about it. Thank God for what you have got. Because there is people out here, and I'm well aware of this, there is people out here that have nothing. What does it matter what you have? Thank God for what you have, but don't throw it up in people's face. It's disgusting. And again, it's something I would never want my kids to find on YouTube. How many of us think like that? Put a 1 in chat if you've ever thought from that point of view of how many times has these creators, kids, and family members went to their channel after they passed to hear their voice. Yes, this is the absolute truth. Anybody can lose everything in a blink of an eye. You sure can. I say be humble with the humans because you don't want God to humble you. Why do I say it takes zero effort to be a good human being? I'll tell you why I say that. Number one, it's the truth. But I always tell my kids that. It takes zero effort to be a good human being, honey. Don't worry about that. It takes zero effort to be a good human being. Now, if God forbid anything ever happened to me, they come to my channel, you guarantee they're going to see it somewhere. Something mama said. Something that might trigger a memory. And Feliza's right. Anybody can lose everything in the blink of an eye, and there's nobody that knows that better than I do. August the 14th, 2005. On August the 13th of 2005, I went to bed and everything was paid for. Everything. I had no bills. 4 beautiful children. Did I think I had worries back then? Yeah, like anybody else. But my life was pretty doggone good. I look back, I think it's perfect. I want to use that word. Although I know nobody has a perfect life, but that's what it felt like. A husband that loved me. Husband that loved me dearly. 4 wonderful children, ranging from the age of 6 months to 5 years old. My home was paid for. My land was paid for. Everything I had already been paid for. At 25 years old, I felt like I was set for life. On August the 15th, 2005, I woke up to a literal hell on earth, as close to any hell as anybody could ever imagine. And that day, my world changed forever. Along around 5:30 in the morning, I woke up in our home. We lived in a single wide trailer, but it was our castle. Was on fire. Regardless of how much we tried to get back into that home to get our kids out, we couldn't. I got my daughter out of a window because she was 6 months old and unable to get up and move around. My oldest son wasn't home that night. But my 2 middle children, Ethan and Peyton, was. They was there. When I put them to bed the night before, I didn't know that was going to be the last I love you. Had no clue. That following Monday, Ethan was going to start school. That was one of the last things he was talking about. Mommy, me go to school tomorrow? No, you go to school the day after, baby. That was my words. Not tomorrow, day after. But I woke up on a Sunday morning and my life was flipped upside down. And my 2 kids didn't make it out. Most people say, my husband would walk through fire for me. Guess what? Mine did. It almost killed him. He had to be forced out to keep from going back in. Flown to a burn unit. Yeah, a trailer can be fully engulfed in 7 seconds. You're exactly right. That was one of the many things the fire marshal told us. We're lucky that any of us got out. My husband was life alone to a burn unit, was on life support. They continued to say he's going to have skin grafts. He's going to have OT just to get range of motions back in his hands. And we done lost everything. And I can't, they've got a glass in front of me and I can't even hold his hand. All I can do is look and pray. That's the only thing I could do. And pray I did. But I'm going to tell you, I didn't start out putting all my faith in God. I didn't. Why? Because why? In my mind, why in the world did this happen? My husband preaches, he leads the youth group. I lead the youth choir. We were doing this, this, and this. That's where my head was that day. Why did this happen? God, why me? I get to the burn unit and his family's there, and my sister-in-law, who I'd always went to if I needed prayer, said, he is a merciful God. And I snapped at her and said, where do you see the mercy in this? I've lost everything. I was angry. And straightforward, I'm going to tell you, I told God I was angry. I told him that I was mad. I told him I'd never be able to sleep again. Why did this happen to me? But from exhaustion, I did fall asleep. When I woke up, my Bible was open beside me. It was open to the verse in Timothy. For God did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. And it was at that moment that I knew where my strength would come from. When they told me, go ahead, it's a week later now. A week later, you might as well go ahead and have their funeral. There's no way. Told me this on a Friday. There's no way that he's going to be able to come out of this hospital in time. I went to the chapel and I prayed. And I can tell you exactly to this day what I told God. Lord, you said that you would not put me through more than I can bear, and I cannot do this without him. I went home. I finished the arrangements. When I got back to UK Burn Center, he had his clothes on, and there was bags in the room. Although I had prayed that prayer, I honestly thought at that moment he had signed himself out. That's what I thought. He signed his own self out. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm going home. I said, you are not signing out. And I went out and I talked to the doctor, and he said, I'm going to tell you. Only he called me by my name. I've never seen anybody heal like that man has. Now, I don't know where you are on a spiritual level or what you believe in, what you don't. I'm telling you my experience. But there is nobody that can convince me that wasn't God. That was God. And my husband was with me there for the funeral. But overnight, my life changed forever. And when I look at these cases, no matter whose it is, I think of that. Overnight, my life changed forever. And I don't know if all the parents that have been thrown up are guilty or innocent, but I can guarantee you that overnight their life changed forever. There's plenty of people in my chat right now or that will watch this on the replay that can probably say they know the moment, whether it be good or bad, that their life changed forever. That's why my channel is the way it is. Hold on. Little Porter is wanting back in. That's my fur baby. I'm back. I don't share my story to have anybody feel sorry for me. because in the midst of that fire, my Lord was still there. He was. This year will make 20 years. August 14th of this year will make 20 years. And not one day has he left me. 20 years later, I've got a roof over my head. Still got that loving husband. My oldest son he's doing awesome. I got 2 grandbabies. My youngest biological daughter, same thing. She's doing great. No grandkids, but she's planning on getting married next year. And then God blessed me to be able to have 3 other kids that someone else gave birth to, but they're mine. And a grandbaby, again, may not be born in my blood, but she's mine. Kind of like Job, he gave it back double. Does anybody replace my children that I lost? No, absolutely not. But that is the God I serve. Is my life perfect? No. No, it ain't. Nobody's is. That's the reason I said I couldn't use that word for August the 13th of 2005. Nobody's life is perfect. Everybody's going through something. There's times that I have to plumb turn off YouTube, when in reality, when I came to YouTube, I came there to escape the things I no longer had, the things that were bogging me down. By that point, I'd lost my mom, my dad, my sister, my kids, a best friend that helped me get through losing my boys. And it got to the point that was on my mind a lot. So I went to YouTube trying to escape my own mind, so to say. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Flies. So, I mean, if people's got it good, thank God that you do. But don't put down the ones that don't. Don't talk about what people have. Because overnight, your life can change forever. And sometimes it can change for the better. Sometimes not so much. In 20 years, there's not been a day that's went by that I haven't thought of my sons. Not one day. I've got a nephew that's real close to their age, and every time, well, real close to Ethan's age. Ethan was 3, Peyton was 2. But every time, like when he graduated school, I was thinking there was only a week's difference in their ages. They were best friends. And that nephew just got married. But when he graduated high school, I thought, Ethan would have been graduating. When he was playing football in high school, I thought, I know my E, he would have been there too. And then when Larkin got married, I was thinking, I wonder if Ethan would have found his special person by now. There ain't a day I don't wonder what my boys would turned out like. I know they would have been good human beings because their mama would have made sure of it. And I often wonder why. And what if? I know how a what if can kill you. A what if can break you in half. And it brings me to this. How in the world do these parents that lose these kids deal with their what ifs? What if I didn't go to bed at this time? What if I would have woke up early? What if I didn't do this and I would have stayed with that, right with that kid? What if? I've had nothing and I have had everything. At my age, material things means nothing. I completely agree. I completely agree. This channel has had several names. We've made jokes about it. Started out Code Case Crystal. You all know why. Then it went to Crystal Connections. On a freak accident, one time it turned up Crystal Case Crystal. And God's Amazing Grace with Crystal. And now it's back to Code Case Crystal. When I come back to Code Case Crystal, it's because I made myself a promise I would cover my uncle's case. That's where my passion was. That's why I got excited when I found out there was a community that in my mind at the time cared. Before that, my name was God's Amazing Grace with Crystal. Because at one point, my channel had got to where it was mostly me reading the Bible, talking about the Bible, or singing at the piano. It was that. But even then, I knew I wasn't perfect. And as a human being, I will fail. And the expectations was too much. When in reality, I came on here because a little 5-year-old girl went missing. I made my first video because of the 5-year-old child was somewhere in this world and we didn't know where she was. I wish this community was what I thought it was. What a great thing that would be. For people to join together, give factual information, and try to actually find these kids or get to the bottom of what went wrong in these cases. I wish that's what it was. But there's a lot of people who go at each other with a missing child's name in their doggone title and try to say that that's true crime, and it's not. That's not true crime. That's drama. And everybody says, I wonder why. I wonder why. I'll tell you why. They let the dollar sign go to their head. Because if you're covering the same case over and over and over again for over a year, and you probably don't know 10 other kids that's missing, then are you doing it for the kids? Oh, we've had some say this was their job. If this is how you make your income, so be it. But don't beat a case into the ground and use a missing kid's name to make $1. Before I came on this live, on YouTube, you can hit what's trending. Right now, how-to videos are trending. But do you know how to do anything? There's plenty areas. This little game that we play on Saturday night has been such a breath of fresh air. And just to be able to say that, do you know how sad that is? That we, as a collective whole, are actually watching us do things that we cannot even control on a game. But I mean, setting our house on fire and everything on this game. And we're doing that to keep our mind off other stuff. We're doing that to be able to laugh. I guess, again, to be able to walk away from YouTube for a little bit. It makes me mad when they do that. Me too, Chatty. People doxing people. Why? There's things that's none of our business. We don't need to be out here doing that business. And I'm not taking up for anybody that does it. Y'all know where I stand. I am still the same person, regardless of what people might have said in the past, that came on this platform years ago. And on my channel, that is who I will remain. Because when Nana's angels pass away, now we didn't see eye to eye on everything, me and her didn't. But we was able to talk like adults. And when she passed away, that's when the thought of, well, it actually went kind of like this. I was thinking, it's a good thing she had a channel. Her kids can go back and watch her videos. We've all got something that reminds us of our loved ones. Whether it's a photograph, mine's a DVD. But we're living in a generation where these YouTubers, us creators, look what our kids can actually find. Are they going to be ashamed of us? Or will they say, that's my mama, or that's my daddy? And don't blame people. That's not your job. That's pulling out a narrative that does more harm than good. Yeah. There ain't nobody on this internet going to arrest nobody. There ain't nobody going to crack this case or any case. The only thing that has been very, very successful with YouTube is slandering people's name and destroying them. Destroying their name. My daddy always said, there's only one thing, Crystal, you take to your grave, and that's your name. That's what people remember you by. When all is said and done, I don't want people to think of me as this horrible person. that spent hours on top of hours dogging people on YouTube. No, I ain't got no shame in my kids going and seeing their mom play a game. I don't. They know I'm goofy like that. Their mom singing or their mom being passionate about a case. Oh, thanks for being here, Rachel. She says, hello, sending positive energy to all. Your words resonate with me. The goal of this community is not what I was expecting. The victims are exploited and additional victims are created, in my opinion. You're very correct. You are, and thank you for being here. I have been disgusted the way the adults in true crime on here have been acting. Me too. Not you. I admire you and what you stand for. Thank you. Thank you. You know, when a troll came in and decided they was going to talk about my accent, we all can have a bad day. Like I said, y'all, I ain't perfect. What I should have done was looked away, not even worried about it. But I reacted to it. And I thought, that is not me. I was embarrassed of it. Blythe can tell you if she's still in here. Because that's not who I am, and that's not who I want to be. Somebody arguing with somebody online. Do I have a temper? Yes. I'm from Southeast Kentucky, honey. I do have a temper. Again, my kids know all about that. Yeah. Fly says, but they kept coming on your accounts, not giving excuses. They did. They were relentless with it and decided they was going to talk about my accent and then talk about my friends. And that was 2 no-nos when I'm not in the best mood anyway. So, yeah, I reacted to it. I sure did. But I was embarrassed of it. Thank you, Flies. Flies knows me well. She does. Everybody's going through something. If you're a creator and you're making videos, keep that in mind. You don't know what the person that is listening to your video or your live, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're dealing with. Just be very, very vigilant of what you say and do. It don't take no effort to be a good human being. We've got to actually try to be a bad one. I've had people challenge me on that one too. Yes, it does. No, it don't. No, it don't. When you're putting effort to go that extra mile to drag somebody and make them feel like crap about everything that they have, you are making an effort to be a bad person. When sometimes it's just easier to pray for people or say, like Rachel did in my chat, I'm sending positive vibes, than it is to make a 6-hour video going at them. That's what I mean. We've got too many chiefs and not enough Indians. this community could do awesome things if they would step aside of trying to compete with each other, wanting them clicks and views and likes and all this stuff. Again, I'm not against you monetizing your channel. I've chose not to. In the future, I may choose to. Right now, no, I don't need to. I'm not going to. But if you're doing something and you're doing it because you want those views, you want that super chat, you want those numbers, find a different genre at least, because true crime is not the sector for you. Kim says, I've had to reel myself in a few times. It's easy to get wrapped up in it. It is. Sometimes we just need to log off. Think of things for ourselves instead of letting somebody feed us how we should be thinking. Because a lot of your creators do that. They show something, could be a wasp or landing on a pole, we don't know, and then say, what do you see here? I'm giving an example, I'm spitfiring. It's not about no particular thing. But if they sit there and say it's a clown with a cowboy hat on, well, after you've sat there and watched it forever, maybe you might start seeing a clown with a cowboy hat on instead of a wasper sitting on a pole. That's just an example. It's a poor one, but it's what I got, y'all. But if we log off and we think about things for ourselves and put ourselves in these situations and think, what would I do? Then we may be able to see it through a different set of eyes, which is our own, and not be so drawn to negativity. I have started logging off when they start dragging after people. Me too. I mean, when I see it getting ridiculous, a lot of times I'm just like, I'm out of here. I found myself walking around the house feeling miserable. Definitely not a good feeling. That's true, Kim. But you know what? If we all did nothing but eat Snickers and candy bars all day long, put a 1 in chat, you all, if you think you're going to feel bad. If you think it's going to be dragging your system down physically. Put a 1 in chat if you think eating junk all day long is going to make you feel horrible. Now, if you do put that 1 in chat, think of this. You're feeding yourself this negativity all day long, and it will make you feel horrible. Intent is everything, and people are either part of the problem or part of the solution. Drama's like a magnet. Let me see here. Like a magnet for some, and they seem to get lost in the sauce. This has a negative effect on victims. That's true. It's true. Now, and like I said, if all we do is watch negativity all day long, then it's going to spill over into our everyday life. And I'm not a person that gets on YouTube and says, go in real life, because I believe from the moment my eyes pop open to the day that I die, I am doing real life, whether I'm on YouTube or whether I'm out here at Walmart, whether I'm cooking supper for my kids or whether I'm doing laundry. I'm still doing real life. What comes out of my mouth, I'm accountable for. It's real life. Absolutely, we become what we expose ourselves to. Yes, we do. We sure do. I'm seldom on anymore. It's too much on a person's peace of mind. It is, Flies. It is. And goodness gracious, if you happen to like somebody that somebody else don't like, then you sure gonna get drugged for filth. I just lost 50 pounds. I'm not young or beautiful and don't like hearing others being put down. Well, I personally have never saw you, but I think you're beautiful. You've always been great when you come into my chats, and beauty is on the inside, in my opinion. And congratulations for losing 50 pounds, because I'm telling you, I'm on the struggle bus with this diet. You would think somebody get every tooth in their head pulled, they wouldn't gain 20 pounds, but old girl did. I sure did, because I went from eating them carrots to eating Reese cups. They were a lot easier for me to chew. You see how that goes? And yeah, when I heard somebody being talked about for not having teeth and people being talked about for being overweight, yeah, that triggered me, you all. And I thought with myself about even doing this live. I thought, well, just let it die. Forget it. But I think there's too many times that we're just forgetting things and not saying nothing. On an off note, my grandbabies introduced me to Snoop Dogg Kid Learning Show. It is something that I never expected from him. Yes, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's actually a pretty good show. Yes, congratulations on losing weight, because I'm here to tell you I've been doing this app thing to count every calorie and talk to a dietitian, because now keep in mind I also got, oh girl, it's getting old, y'all. I have Crohn's, I have lupus, I have osteoporosis, and so the exercise that I can do, it's kind of limited. Can't do like twists and stuff like that. I found out last November how easy it was for me to break a bone. It was real easy. So I've been watching my calorie intake and my carbs. Quit pop completely. That pop was a big one for me. I like waters, but I like the Canadian waters or waters in a glass bottle. Um, it's just a little OCD of mine. I'm not real crazy about the ones in the plastic bottles, not because I'm a recycle freak, but I get it in my mind. And now this goes right along with my OCD, but I get it in my mind that anything that it's sitting near, it's going to absorb the, like, say it's sitting near bleach. The way my mind works is my water's going to smell like bleach. I know it's all in my head, but it's a thing for me. And I mean, here I am on YouTube telling everybody about it, but pop was a big one for me. So just quitting my pop cut my calories in half, because I would find myself, even if I wasn't thirsty or something, just popping open a pop and drinking it. Too many people look the other way. Thank you for standing up and calling it out. Well, you're very welcome. I mean, I'm just asking people to do better. I know that it probably won't make a difference, but if I can share with people what I've been through and let them hear a little bit of what it is like to be on that side in your way of thinking, from coming out of a tragedy and how that changes you, then maybe they might start thinking of stuff like that. And I'm not saying my way is the only way, but I am saying respect and dignity is a big thing, and people need to start putting it back in their life. Now, I do firmly believe the things that I've went through have shaped who I am. I think it is a big reason I am the way I am on this channel. Had I made this channel in the 90s, if the internet was a thing, and YouTube, people probably be calling me out. If I'm being honest, I wasn't the best human. I wasn't. You could say I made an effort to be a bad one. But what people go through kind of shapes who you are. I'm so happy for anyone that sets goals and achieves them. Willpower is a mighty thing. It is. It is. Willpower is a mighty thing. But I tell you something else that's a mighty thing. Flies, baked potatoes. Those are real mighty to me sometimes because that's like my favorite food and it's eat up with carbs. Chips, that's the mighty thing too. So I find myself having to say, okay, in order for me not to eat it, I need it completely out of my way. So, but I'm not going to deprive my family from having snacks either. So I just kind of put it to where I ain't seeing it all the time. I've done real good though. So far I've done real good. Oh yes, with butter, honey. I didn't stop at the baked tater. I put the butter on there, the sour cream on there, bacon bits, cheese. I don't even care that I scratch when I eat cheese because of being slightly allergic to it. I'd still load it down. Eat me not one but two. Like I said, I am from Southeast Kentucky. We fry everything. Everything. When I say we fry everything, I'm talking cauliflower, you name it. Oh, mine is chili chips with cheese melted. Oh my goodness. And sour cream and jalapeno peppers. Oh boy, I can eat that ever. I could too. I could too. A fajita. Oh my God, I can eat that every day. Will make myself hungry right here. Yeah, and 3 meals and 1 potato. Yeah. Honestly, when I was talking to my doctor, because I also have heart issues, when I was talking to my doctor and we were talking about a diet that I could go on, and you hear these big name diets, right? Weight Watchers, keto, and now the big one out there is the carnivore diet. And I'm like, okay, how about the carnivore diet? Because now if I can eat all the meat that I want, maybe I might not be so keen to want to eat 3 baked potatoes or a half a bag of chips. But now I like eggs and I like meat. So if I can eat steak and eggs, I'm good. How about that? And he's like, no, Crystal. I'm like, why not? He says, because it puts you in ketosis and you're a diabetic. So that was a no-go. So I just kind of had to form my diet. Buy the block cheese. The shredded has antibiotics and other stuff to preserve it so that doesn't stick together and mold fast. You can really. I like that. Thank you, Kim. Basically, my diet has consisted of under 1,500 calories, 1,500 or under, not eating over 60 carbs in one day. 40 was the goal, and it was impossible. Okay, you girls got to have some carbs. Tracking everything. I got this app, and you take a picture of your food, and it will show all the calories that's in it. And yes, I have tested it. I went back and looked those up to make sure it's telling me the truth, because I don't even trust an app, y'all. How bad is that? But and everything that's in that picture, it will calculate right down to salt. It'll tell you that's an ingredient. But the first day, what I did when I got that app, it's called Cal AI. That's what it is on the Apple devices. And it ain't bad. It's like $30 for a whole year, 30 some dollars for a whole year. But the first day I eat like I normally did. I took a picture of everything that went. If it went in my mouth, I took a picture of it. Even if I was having like 2 or 3 bites, I'd take a picture of it. And then that next morning, I looked back on what I was eating, because I was honestly one of these people. I'm like, I don't really eat much. But I found that if I walk by a bag of chips, I grab 3 chips, and I might do that 10 times a day. So it wasn't that I wasn't eating much. I was just sporadically eating. And then I cut out what I was doing. I mean, and like I said, not to look like no Barbie doll or anything like that. I just, y'all, I gotta live. I've got babies. I gotta live. It's for my health. My whole reason for the diet is my health. Let me see. That is very interesting. Thank you for the information. I have always heard to buy the block cheese and stay away from the bags of shredded, but I never knew why. Me too, Rachel. I mean, I'm glad to have that information. And it makes so much sense. It does. But y'all, like I said, I don't ever want to come on here and say something or do something that my kids would be ashamed of. As much as I love covering cold cases and having this channel and being able to come on here and talk to you all, my kids' opinion of me means more. I never want them to say, man, that's not my mama. My mama, what in the world is she doing? No, I don't want them to see me making a whole mess of myself on YouTube. Because one day this might be what they have. It might be just what they have left. And I love them more than I love myself. To be quite honest with you. Each and every one of them. So proud of my kids. And I know how I am. And there's days that I'll pop that DVD in the DVD player just to see my boy's face and to hear their voice. And if my children are anything like me, if anything happens to me, they have a whole channel here where they can hear their mama's voice and occasionally see her face. And when they get here and they find this channel, now my daughter knows all about it. Mainly because of The Sims. But when they get here and they find me, I want it to be me. I want them to recognize the person on the screen. I don't want them to find a whole mess or somebody that they'd be ashamed of. Or somebody doing something that I've told them their whole life not to do. if I won't do it in my everyday life, I'm not going to do it on this screen. I'm not going to do it on this channel. Yes, it means a lot, don't it? You see, I don't have nothing like that of my mom. Like I said, we were poor as dirt, okay? Like, dirt was some of our favorite toys. So, we were poor as dirt. And when cameras came out, I mean, that was a big blessing because you could get a picture, but I've not got very many videos of mom. Now, dad was a whole different situation. There was a time that he was rocking one of my nieces, and I got a video of him singing to her. And when that pops up on my Facebook feeds, oh my goodness, it's a good day. But I haven't got nothing of mama talking. Nothing but myself. Every now and then I'll say something and sound just like my mama, and I'm like, get back in there. But my whole point is, if you're a creator and you're on here, or maybe you're a subscriber and you watch creators, keep in mind you do hold all the power. Because if their numbers don't go up with the drama, they won't do it. And if it does, come back and tell me about it. I'll make a video apologizing. But the subject will change to something different if people aren't in there just feeding it. It's like a fire. You start out with one log on your fire and you start throwing more, the bigger it gets. Well, that's kind of how the chats work. If nobody is throwing those logs or agreeing with that creator in their chat, they'll eventually switch topics. But now creators, and some people may not care what their kids find on YouTube, because their kids probably see that. If they don't care, their kids probably see that in their everyday life, and that's sad. I, for one, want to put morals and respect out there for my kids. My mom got books to read and record and did one for each grandkid. They still listen to them now. She's gone. Oh, that is awesome. That's a really great idea, actually. But y'all, I don't know if y'all have been watching the YouTuber Survival House. I'll just say this, it's hilarious. We fit like dogs Wednesday night. But I'll be back on here at 8 o'clock. I've done went and got hungry. Because I'm trying not to eat after 6. So I think I'm going to go get me a bite to eat, and I'll be back on at 8 so we can see who gets eliminated tonight or what craziness goes on in the house. But if you have nothing to do, come back at 8 o'clock, spend some time with us. It's always a laugh. If you want to escape these YouTube streets, this is where to come to do it at, because it is hilarious. Got 8 creators in one house. It's the Sims 4 game, y'all. But I don't control it unless I have to absolutely do something to intervene in the game. But we just let them autonomously do whatever they're going to do. And I mean, so far, we've had earthquakes, we've had house fires, we've had fights. Wednesday night, we had about 15 of them. People been eating my cow plants and spit back out. It is just hilarious. And it's all in good fun. Nothing represents who the people are. The traits are randomized. If you've watched Code Case, I'm Code Case. That's me, Crystal. Crystal, that's you. But if you watch my channel, I'm on there. Then there's Duchess Discussions is on there. Nonsense, Chico, Arctic, True Crime, Michelle Macklin, her husband Screwball, and we did have the vampire, but I mean, he died in the sun. But it's good for a laugh. It's a fresh breath when you need one. But I love you all. You remember that it takes 0 effort to be a good human being. You've actually got to make an effort to be a bad one.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away. Smile until I look away, but I've known you too